Communication Man here today. Got a great video for you today. Today is called Don't Say Anything That Makes You Weak and Powerless. Think about that. Words define you. Okay, so whatever's coming out of your mouth is the picture people are going to view you as. So how we speak really does matter, and it's important because this is a conversation that is not held enough. And there's so many people going to school, bettering themselves, getting different types of education, and they're not growing when it comes to communication. And they think they are because they're reading books and maybe expanding their vocabulary, but in general, most people aren't understanding the perception of how they speak and how it projects whatever image that they may or may not want. So subscribe. I got a new video coming out every Wednesday. And I like making content that helps you and I get better every time we watch it. And the content I create here is things that I learn and grow and adapt. And once I figure out a way to use it, then I create a video about it. So I want to help you become more capable. That's my goal. So if the more capable you are, the more power you're going to have. The more power you're going to have, you're going to feel better about yourself, and you're going to be happier because you can do more. Many things we say make us look weak. What's an example of that? Oh, I can't do it. I'm tired. I feel like garbage. I'm not strong enough, not smart enough, don't make enough money. Well, when you start realizing that those words are who you are, especially in the public, you really start to feel like garbage. You start to feel inferior. And the more you talk with weakness and you use things that make you feel powerless and you look feeble, the more you feel dumb later when you start thinking back on, well, I'm not really that weak. I'm not really that inferior. And then you feel like garbage, and it lessens your self-worth, and it's just a cycle that keeps going out of control. So if we don't talk about this, if we don't think about this, it might sputter so far out of control where you become the loser that you're describing, and you fulfill the prophecy of your own words. So most of our speech is formed accidentally and with no purpose at all. And from the childhood days all the way up to our adulthood, most people, this isn't even a conversation they're having, what we're talking about right now. It's not even on their radar. So the advantage you're going to have from just watching this video and being able to apply it is the fact that you can be thousands of miles ahead, if not millions of miles ahead, of people who are not even thinking about this. And one of the best things is our words we can change our words, and we can change the direction of our emotions, our feelings, and our thoughts. So my question for you is, are you a word wimp? And if you say no 100%, well, then I think that's a lie, because we all sometimes, at one point or another, whether it's our past, present, or future, have or will be a word wimp. And the difference is when you start to think about it and catch yourself. And then when you get incredibly good at this and you master this, eventually you can erase the whole word whip philosophy, and you can be strong. Your words can be strong and get you where you want to go. So I want you to throw your weak words in the trash where they belong. So if you see that picture, it's like you're picking up the weak words and you're chucking them out. We don't want to be using these anymore, because these words are going to, it's kind of like you have a Ferrari or a Porsche. And instead of being able to drive it like it's designed to, which is your body, which is your mind, your soul, if you're a regular person having just halfway normal, I mean, your brain works like it's supposed to, you have a decent education, you can do a lot more. You're like a Ferrari. And if your words are weak, it's like putting a boot on all your tires. The engine might work perfectly, you can try to peel out, but with the boot, it's not going to go anywhere. Your car's just going to malfunction. And most people's lives are malfunctioning, and they don't even realize that a lot of the things they're saying are causing the malfunction. So this video is about stopping the malfunction, taking off the boots and the tires, and getting the Porsche, the Ferrari of our life, our soul, igniting it and being able to take off with it and go where we want to go. It is imperative to screen what we say. So when I say screen what you say, I mean filter what you say, replace what you say, catch it before it leaves your mouth. Also, it's going to be really tempting to use these words as our inner dialogue. Now, they might be there, but you need to stop even inner dialogue of weak words, because those things, they spill out into your physical, verbal release of words. So some example of weak words are, I suck, right? I suck at it. I'm no good. I stink. It's too hard. It's always hard. It's always the rich getting richer and the poor getting poor. Very weak words. And guess what? You're going to be the poor person in that statement, because you're giving yourself weak commands. So instead of doing that, power commands are, instead of saying I suck, say I learned fast. See, I learned fast just put you in the pilot seat. Now you can get in the car, you can drive, you can do something. I suck at it. It's like you're throwing the keys out the window and complaining, but you really do actually have a vehicle, but you're not using it correctly. So when you say, instead of saying I suck or I can't do it or I'm not sure how, say I learn fast, I can learn how, I can find a way to do it. Much different wording, much different results. So instead of saying it's too hard, it's really difficult, getting rich is hard. Well, it's true, but it's getting easier because I'm getting more skillful, right? I'm learning how to do hard things, so it's getting easier. I can do hard things. Hard things become easy for me because I'm a fast learner and I know what to do. I know what direction to go towards. So see how different the wording is, but how one empowers and the other one disempowers and takes away your power. So instead of saying, I don't know how, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know how I'm going to ever do this, right? Some weak type of statement. Rather than doing that, say, I'm on top of this. I'm going to find a way to take care of this, and I will bulldoze my way through and find a solution. So there's a completely different command to your brain, to your psyche, to your soul, and one moves with power and the other one moves with like that terrible negative energy. So I want you to do this, that you basically make a choice to be determined to protect your psyche, okay, your state of mind. Your inner dialogue is what no one sees, but they see it when the words come out of you, okay, and they can see it through your actions and your body language. So if you want to project strong, healthy actions, you need to first internally start projecting the right things. So don't spout gibberish and weakness. Oh, I don't know. So you need to think. You need to think and be conscious of, okay, what are the things I'm saying? Okay, so a lot of times when you're sad and suicidal, it's usually because you got too much debt, you got too many problems, and you don't know how to solve them, okay? And when I say suicidal, like, people might freak out. Look, everybody feels like that all the time. We just don't verbalize it. So many people, this world is so difficult. Like, even if you're really good at it, there's always some trauma you got to deal with. So what I mean by that is, okay, if you're constantly feel like your back's up against the wall, okay, there's probably some weakness and gibberish that's just being repeated in your mind over and over, and they're tapes that you got to stop playing. So what I mean by that is, let's introduce power words. So when you feel like, oh man, I can't do it, it's always the same thing, okay, stop that. Okay, stop that internal dialogue and bring in the power words. But power words can make you strong, rich, healthy, and happy, all right? So rather than saying I can't do it, say I'm learning how to do it. I will find someone who knows how, and I will talk to them, interview them, buy their book, read their book. I will emulate them, and I will figure out a way to do it myself so I can be in a position that makes me happy. Weak words, on the other hand, destroy your reputation. They bankrupt you. Okay, they dissolve friendships and they create horrible financial nightmares for you. So a good example of this are people who use words that are not only weak, but they're harmful to other people. That's a good way, it's a fast way to break up a lot of people that are close to you, because you start doing that too much, even if it's an accident or it slips, people will get put off by that and either cut you off, cut you out, or actually purposely try to sabotage you because they hate you so much. So you don't really want to do that. You create nightmares for yourself financially by having these terrible thinking that, oh, I don't know, I can't do it, I'm poor me, I need help, and always trying to be dependent on someone like a leech, and you push away people. So going back to the power words that make you strong, rich, and healthy, you want to replace everything in your head. So it's not something that's going to feel natural. And you're going to feel like a hypocrite when you first start this because you have so many other tapes, these other weak words that are trying to pull you down. And it's important never to form yourself as an identity. Okay, someone might say I'm a teacher, I'm a father, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, but we all have different roles, but those things will shift and shape over time, and they're going to change. So never latch on to like a negative, just an identity for the sake of identities. That should change. What you can latch on to is I'm a powerful person. I'm a virtuous person. Okay, those are good things to have, right? But never like wrap all your attention to I'm this one thing. All right, so what I want you to think about, and this is the takeaway, all right? There's two takeaways here. Words are thoughts lurking around your mind. So whatever's coming out of you is what's lurking around your mind, your psyche. So if words that are coming out of you are weak, and I don't know, I hope so, we'll see, try to, okay, that shows that you're inside a wreck. Okay, so you don't have to stay a wreck. That's the beautiful thing about this whole journey. We can get better if you're in a free country, in a free, decently free society. You can improve things. So the second takeaway is people take you at face value most of the time. All right, so what that means is maybe this up until now, at this point of your life, you've put off nothing but weakness and you've projected nothing but weakness. You can start replacing what you're saying and what you're thinking with strength. And guess what? People will eventually start to associate that with you because they'll see that. And if you've burned a bridge so many times with people where they have so many negative images of you, okay, if it's a friend or someone, maybe you just have to find new friends, all right? Someone who doesn't have that negative history with you. But you need to first do what's best for you because you live inside your brain. You live inside with your soul. And if you're weak inside, you're going to always feel bad, all right? So you need to first start replacing what your power is. So every time you go to talk or do anything, think, is this going to bring out the power? So a personal example for me is I've been in situations where I've put myself down or I've let myself kind of crap on myself in front of other people. Oh, I was not the best this or best that. And then later I was like, what am I talking about? I wasn't really bad. I was at the time making the best choice at that time and doing the best I could with what I had, the resources. Why am I crapping on myself verbally? And then later realizing like I'm not really that like much of a loser or weak. I'm more powerful than that. And then you have like that awkward shame because you understand you're better than that and you were throwing your own soul under the bus. So what you start doing is you start realizing I'm not going to play this game where I crap on myself. Someone else can crap on themselves, but I'm not going to verbally do that. So you start doing that and you start to feel more powerful because what happens is you do become more powerful. You start to think more mature, more independently, and it's okay if people hate you. You're not scared of that because you realize they don't matter. Their words are just opinions. You control you. That's all you control. So people take you at face value. Words are the thoughts lurking around your mind. The takeaway for this is replace whatever inner dialogue you have of weakness with power. And it's going to feel weird and you're going to feel like an imposter at first. That's totally acceptable. It's normal. Just replace it with the power things. Feel like I don't know if I can do it. See, I know I can do it. I just need to think about what I need to do and then do it. And slowly you'll start to get more confident. You'll start to attract the things you want in your life. You'll start to become the person because you're replacing the tapes with powerful things. And when you stop saying, things that make you look weak, you feel better about yourself. When you feel better about yourself, you start to do things that are in your best interest even more. You start eating healthier, exercising more. You start making choices that more financially sound. You start having more self-control because you're attracting power. And when you start releasing power, more power is attracted to you. That's just how this whole life thing works. So be very selective and screen your words. Do not say things that diminish your power. All right, time for the conversation starter question. So this one I think is an excellent one. It's a little more thought-provoking than a lot of the other ones I do. And my question for you is, how would you sum up all modern society in one word? Now, this is just your opinion, okay? There's no right or wrong answer. And remember, better questions lead to higher quality conversations. Now, obviously, this is the kind of question I think you'd want to be careful you ask this to. But if it's a close friend or someone you respect their opinion of, this would be an interesting question to see what their idea is. Now, how would I sum up all modern society in one word, at least the America that I live in, the Western societies, not just American, but Western countries in general? I would say irresponsible. And I see this so many times, the gold digger type of mindset of I want someone who is going to come and take care of me like I'm a baby. Or the person that, complains about how hard life is, but, not really thinking about the poor choices they've made that have got them to where they are. Now, I admit, there's a lot of choices I made that are terrible, and now I'm paying for the consequences, but the good thing is I'm responsible, and I'm like, okay, I don't like it, but you know what? I'm going to fix it. I'm going to find a solution, and I'm going to clean up my mess, right? So that's a responsible mindset. Before, when I was immature, I just kept repeating the same thing, not realizing that I'm responsible for my whole life, not just parts of it. And a lot of people, like they'll say that in their mind, but they're not really showing it, revealing it through their actions. And you'll see so many people in this society, they complain and they like to point the finger that it's always the men's fault, it's always the women's fault, it's always the rich people's fault, it's always someone other than them. Okay? But who's the person that signed up for the credit card? Who's the one who went and maxed it out? Who's the one who partied all night and didn't wake up early and go to classes and study or get a degree that's useless? Like, who did that? Or who didn't get a degree that was valuable, right? You get what I'm saying? And then they can blame it on someone else. Oh, well, it's not I can't do it. There's ways you can do almost anything. And being responsible says, how can I do it? And that might require some unknowing sacrifice until you get the thing you want. So what I'm saying is, I think that most people in our societies are irresponsible, and they don't want to take the accountability. They want all the fun and the pleasure, but they want to blame it on someone else and all the bad things that happen to them, instead of just being responsible. It's no one else's fault except themselves. And guess what? There's things in life that are unfair, and that's just part of this world. So instead of getting upset about it, being responsible for how can you change that? How can you make it a little more fair? See, that requires a lot of power, a lot of responsibility, a lot of higher end thinking, and a lot of people don't want any of that responsibility. They'd rather give it to someone else. It's the government. It's someone else. Right? You see what I'm saying? So that's how I would sum up all modern society. Now, comment below, how would you sum up modern society? And I'd be curious to hear your opinion on that. And remember, I have a new video coming out every Wednesday just for you. So subscribe for more communication life hacks and tips. And my goal, remember, every video and every time, what we learn together is to become more powerful. And I want you to become more capable. So I created this video. So remember, filter your words. Be really careful what you let come out of you. And inside your head, don't allow garbage thoughts that destroy you and hurt you. Don't allow you to cut down yourself. Work on yourself. Give yourself power words and change the defeating language into overcoming and successful language, especially the inner dialogue, because that always eventually spills out. All right, love you. See you next week.